Hello, welcome back to Down to Earth Mystic. In the last Tarot 101 video, we did conclude discussing the major arcana, and in this video, we'll discuss the minor arcana from the perspective of the elements and suits, but not going too terribly further into individual cards besides a brief introduction to the court cards, again general, and not focusing much on the suits regarding the court cards. So just a moment, as usual, I will be turning the camera to the cards so you can see those up close and personal, as promised. Okay, so the basics initially, and the reason why I have two different decks available here. Again, this is the Rider-Waite, like we've talked about in past videos, and then this is the Sun and Moon Tarot. I really like how well the Sun and Moon Tarot does depict or show the elements. So, and then the Rider-Waite shows the suits much better. So that's why they're coming together. It seemed redundant to include the Crystal Visions Tarot deck in this example because we wanted to focus, or I wanted to focus on those two things. So on with it. The the Wands element is going to be represented by the element of fire, as showing best here. And then the Cups suit will be represented by water element, Pentacles represented by earth, and Swords represented by air element. So that's kind of the basics of a card visually and kind of the background information to get you started. Next up, I do want to let you know the specifics on the suits. So back to the Wands, we've got Wands, fire, masculine energy, it'll be the yang energy, and then I won't use this very often in any readings that I'll do for you guys, but if you're curious, the wands do represent the season of spring. It does represent in general action, passion, spiritual pursuits, career, and creative projects. Next up, the water or cups. That's going to be a feminine or yin energy. The season is summer. And that element does represent generally emotions, intuition, the subconscious, and psychic insights. Then thirdly, we've got a pentacle and earth energy, or earth element. And this is a feminine energy, yin energy, the season of autumn. It represents all things natural and physical, what you experience using your senses, and financial matters. And then the last suit and element, Swords, air. That's going to be a masculine, young energy, the season of winter, and it generally represents things that are based on logic, thoughts, things in the mind, and communication. So that would be the suits and elements. Next up, I wanted to touch base on the court cards, which will be swords are what you're going to see here, but the element and suit don't matter in these cards as far as this particular explanation. I merely wanted to give you a visual representation as I go through the page, knight, queen, and king. So we'll take these guys out of the way. A page in general will be representing, when it does represent a person, which court cards do generally represent people, they can also represent a theme, but we'll go into that more later as we get deeper into the suits themselves. But page can represent someone who is innocent, someone who has potential, young. So this is going to be like a young person, a child, or a teenager. And that's kind of it that I wanted to get into as far as a page. Now, the knight is going to represent like an opportunity or an offer, or it can also represent movement. As far as the age range of a person, I'd say young adult. That's going to be someone who's starting to figure things out in life, and they've got a little bit more responsibility that they're more focused on, more so than their page friends, but not quite as much as the queen and king. Now with the queen, queen is going to represent, say, satisfaction or success in the theme of the suit that the card is intended to represent in a reading. Again, in this case, we're not going to talk too much about suits for the court cards. And the queen and king are both, I would say, mature adult, or I mean, say between adult and mature adult. And then a king is going to represent someone who has confidence, lots of experience in their suit. Queens do too, but kings, I would say, would be just barely above that. They're actually somewhat of a master of their suit. So that's a super short introduction into an overview of the minor arcana. And in the next video, we're going to talk about pip cards, which will be basically ace through 10, and we're actually going to go through all the suits together so that you can see how that compares. It's actually oddly the easiest way to explain it. You'll see what I mean. But that will be it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you all have a lovely day.